Hi all, welcome back to another Tech Connect. Are you struggling to use your computer?
I know I am.
If so, then this is the video for you. I'm a little nervous since you're doing the demonstration today, but we are looking...
What's that supposed to mean?
Well, you're struggling to use the computer.
Oh, good point.
And you're showing it. Today we're looking at a piece of free software called Morphic. It works on Windows and Mac computers, and it brings accessibility right to your fingertips.
Let's call those mighty morphing Power Rangers.
Copyrighted.
Oh yeah. Accessing a computer can be a little bit tricky for people with vision loss depending on your level of computer skills, but luckily there are a number of accessibility tools built into computers these days. But the question is, how do we access them? Well, luckily Morphic makes it easy. Cory, do you use any accessibility tools on your computer?
I do.
And what do you use, Cory?
I'm a screen reader user.
Excellent.
Magnification doesn't help me, but
yes,
I do know where accessibility features are found.
Well, now you're just showing off.
I do.
Okay, Windows 10, where do we go?
First, you download Windows 11.
Cool.
And then after that, in Windows 11, you're going to go Start menu. You can type Accessibility. Windows 10, Ease of Access.
Yes.
If you're on a Mac, you can go to Settings and then Accessibility, and you'll find all of the built-in accessibility features provided by those operating systems.
Yes, you will. And if you guys want to check out how to do that, there should be a card somewhere up there that you can check on. We have videos on Mac accessibility, Windows accessibility, and there are a lot of great tools. But for those who are not power computer users like Cory over here, you may have difficulty finding those tools. And even if you do find them, you might not really understand exactly what they can be used for. Luckily, that's where Morphic comes in. This is a free program you can download from the internet. Cory, heard of the internet before?
I've been there.
You've been there?
Yeah, Al Gore and I.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Was it a vacation? You have a nice time?
Well, no, we created it together.
Oh, it was, yeah, okay.
Yep.
Fair, yeah.
My middle name is actually Internet. That's how we came up with it.
Well, yeah.
Didn't know what to name it. He wanted to call it Goreland. I thought that was weird.
Goreland sounds like a horror movie.
It does a little bit. You're right, you're right.
Well, there we go. That went in unexpected directions. But the internet is the place to go to download Morphic. You can go to morphic.org and you can download it for Windows PC, and also you can download it for Mac as well. Now, in this session today, we will be taking a look at the basic features that you would get if you downloaded Morphic onto your computer, and we're going to find out all about how it can allow you to make things bigger and use a magnifier and have things read aloud and change the color of things, all with a very simple interface. But there are some more advanced features too, and that's where our Tech Connect live show Thursday the 31st of August. So
there you go.
Yes, if you happen to be around on Thursday the 31st of August at 11 o'clock Central, all you have to do is go to our YouTube channel, which you are on right now. So you could just leave your computer right there if you like.
Oh, the whole time, just leave it open.
Yeah, just leave it open.
Yep. And while you're doing so, please make sure that you like and subscribe.
Of course.
And then just let our video keep playing for the next 2 weeks, please.
The more views, the better. But do feel free to join us for our live show at 11 o'clock Central, and we will be taking a look at some of the more advanced features of Morphic, including how to customize the Morphic control bar so you can actually add features to it that you want. So you could easily set it up for a friend or a relative to give them easy access to things like Zoom, for example. And you can do it all from the comfort of your own computer because it is web portal based. But with that being said, let's take a look at the basic features of Morphic and how it can help you. So here we are with my computer. I apologize for the mess on the desktop, but this is the realities of
real life. Is there a tool in Morphic to delete icons?
There should be. Yes, I have the Morphic bar here. It's on the bottom right, and that is where it lives. Now you can move it around if you want to, so it will snap to the corners, essentially. So here it is in the top right corner, over on the top left corner, and so on and so forth. It's a case of dragging and dropping it wherever you want it. Now, there is one thing that you may have noticed straight up, or at least I did when I downloaded this. The control panel is a little bit small if we're talking about things that are designed for people with vision loss, and that is definitely one of the weaknesses, I think. Now, one of the options you have here is called text size, and that will actually change resolution. It's a little bit deceiving because there is a text size option in Windows accessibility, but this does not change that. What it does is adjust resolution and makes everything bigger. And when we do that, it will make the Morphic bar bigger as well. So you can make it larger like that, but by default it is kind of small. And the problem with making everything bigger through this text size button is that when we change the screen resolution, sometimes that messes up how things look. And so it doesn't always work to do that when you're trying to do various tasks. You may notice, people watching, that as I put my mouse on these controls, a description of the control turns up in large, high contrast print above the control, which is really a pretty nice feature there. So we can go ahead and put our mouse on there and see what's going to happen when we click on any particular element. Let's go ahead and increase this text size button. I've clicked it once. Our resolution has changed. Everything has become bigger, including the Morphic bar, as I had said, that will resize as well. I click it a second time, we get bigger again. I click it a third time.
Buckle up, people.
Well, I'm afraid a third time. This is as large as I can go on my laptop.
For screen resolution, you got up to the, okay.
Yeah, so this is as large as I can go. So depending on your computer, then you may have less or more clicks available than I did here. Now, this all seems fantastic. I mean, why would you not want to make everything bigger, right? But the problem is, as I had said, that some things will not display properly when you make them too large. So for example, very common problem, you get a pop-up window from a program. It has buttons in it that you need to interact with, but because of the increased size of everything, those buttons are now off the screen, and you cannot click them with the mouse because you can't see them. Now, you can use the tab key and try and guess where they are and what they do, and well, that's probably a little bit more advanced than you really want to be messing around with.
And really, probably like when you're using a computer, the less guessing, the better.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So yeah, that's going to be the major downside. Now, that's not necessarily the end of the world, because you can easily decrease the size again if you get one of those windows, and then that will hopefully then give you access to those buttons. So just being able to increase and decrease so easily is really nice. And this is something you would have to go into the settings to do normally. There is no keyboard shortcut for it, so it is really handy to have it available there. Onto the magnifier, the next function, and as Cory so eloquently put it, the magnifier will indeed magnify. We have two buttons, show and hide. Cory, clicking on the show button, what's that going to do?
That starts to play one of your favorite TV shows.
It does! No, it doesn't.
No, I think it shows the magnifier.
It does indeed, yes. And it is using the lens magnifier as its default here. So the lens magnifier will bring up a square lens or rectangular lens that will follow your mouse pointer around. And of course, you can go ahead and click on things whenever you need to. And this is nice for magnifying just specific areas that you're having trouble with accessing. Hitting the hide button will, of course, go ahead and turn off the magnifier and get rid of it. Now, what we don't have here are any options to zoom in and out while the magnifier is on, or any options to change the way the magnifier is being displayed. So, Cory, what do we do here? So
one of the nice things about Morphic is that they like to do things consistently and have some continuity going.
Sure.
So you can right-click any of these buttons that we're talking about, and there's some options that pop up, and one will should always be settings, which will allow you to go in, and in case of magnification, we can change it from lens to full screen, I believe.
Yes.
And then obviously, depending on which control you right-clicked will depend on what settings you get.
Yeah, so for the magnifier, if we right-click, then we choose the settings. It will take us to the magnifier settings on the computer, where we can change the view between dot view, full screen view, or lens view. We can also change the magnification level as well. Now, that might be a little bit too much for some people. It's a shame that they haven't integrated the ability to zoom in and out with the magnifier using buttons on the Morphic panel here. So it's a little bit of a strange oversight in my opinion. You can, of course, use Windows shortcut still. Cory, Windows shortcut to zoom in.
Again, Windows plus.
To zoom out.
Windows minus or dash or hyphen.
To turn off the magnifier instantaneously.
Instantaneously?
Instantaneously.
All you have to do is think it. No, Windows escape will turn it off.
I thought I got you on that one. Very good. Again, this is why Cory is the assistive technology professional around here.
Yes.
So yeah, a bit of an oversight there, but with not being able to zoom in and out easily, but it works well enough for its purpose, I think. Next, we have the snip function. This is nothing to do with Snippy. Anybody know Snippy?
No idea.
Okay, never mind.
If you don't get moving, I'm about to get a little snippy here.
This will, as we said, allow us to just take a little screenshot. Now, you don't have to capture the entire screen. You can choose how much you want to capture. We will hit our button here, which actually says copy on it, and that will bring up a little window. All we have to do is with the mouse, we have to drag over the area that we want to capture. So I'm going to go ahead and left click and hold and drag over the area of the screen that I want to capture. I will let go, and it's gone ahead and saved that particular image now to the clipboard, and from here I could paste it into an email, or as Cory said, we could put it into photos and do something with it and save it, or whatever we might want to do. So far, some pretty cool features. Cory, personally, I love to read. How about you?
I do too.
And that's why this episode is sponsored by Audible. No, sorry, no. We don't do all that.
Could be, though. Give us a call, Audible.
Luckily for us, the Morphic also contains text-to-speech functions to get it to read to us, as Cory told us earlier on. But how do we do it? Well, this is read selected. The clue is in the name. Read selected. We need to select the text that we want it to read, and then hopefully it will read it to us. Yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and open up this excellent website. You may have heard of it, Cory, vision-forward.org. Ever been there?
I have.
Very good.
Yep.
And on there you can do many things, including finding pictures of Cory as a young man. Here we have Cory standing behind a computer looking very happy, and you can tell he's a little bit...
It was late on a Friday. I knew I was going home.
And yeah, Cory looks like a very nice young man. I'm not sure what happened in between then and now.
Well.
But so on the screen here, we have some text, and of course, we need to select the text. How do we select it? Well, we can click and drag with the mouse. But that can be a little bit tricky, Cory. Sometimes dragging with the mouse isn't so easy for people with vision loss.
Sure.
So we could also do a Control-A, or if you're on the Mac, you could do a Command-A, and that will select all of the text for you. The only downside there being that you don't get to be so specific. It will just read everything because you've selected everything. Mm-hmm. So for the moment, I'm going to select a bit of text with the mouse here, and we're going to come down to our Morphic panel, and we will click on Read Selected, and let's see what we get.
Assistive technology connects people with vision loss to possibilities. Vision Forward's Technology and Education Center ensures people who are blind and visually impaired have access to the latest advancements in assistive technology.
That sounds like a great place, Cory.
Yeah.
I wish I worked there. So yeah, there we go. It read it, and we hit the stop button in the Morphic panel, and that went ahead and stopped the reading. Cory, what voice was that?
That, I believe, was Microsoft David.
And if you are computer savvy, then you could go and actually change the voice, maybe to 0.
I'm curious if you like the other ones. If we right-click on Read Selected, it'll take us to settings where we can choose speech and change our speaking rate in person too?
Indeed, yes. Okay. So we can change our language, which is very nice.
Oh, nice.
And we can also change our voice. Windows 10 has Microsoft David and 0, and we have Mark here as well. So you can choose who you want and how fast they're talking, and off you go. That's gonna be a very nice tool, especially for accessing those longer bits of text, like some long emails, documents, or web pages. So Cory, we are on to the final section already. It's been a blast so far, and we just have contrast and color remaining to look at. Now, what does this do? Well, it's going to help you manage those bright areas of the screen. Sometimes there's just too much glare, and it makes it difficult to see what's going on. Let's take a look at a Word document here. Whoa! A lot of white light there, Cory, let me tell you.
Don't go towards the light.
Exactly. We want to change the light. We want to make it dark. And that's what we're going to do here using Morphic. If we come down and click our contrast button, all of a sudden, almost instantaneously, but not because my computer's a little bit slow, Cory, if you'd like to get an update on that, we will see everything has changed. The Word document is black. And if we write some words here, now, on my computer, those words are yellow. That's not actually normal. I was messing about with the color schemes here. Normally, those words would be white, but even the yellow looks really pretty nice against the black here. And so this is enabling the Windows High Contrast mode, which is a really good mode. The only thing you have to be aware of is this high contrast mode does not affect everything. So there may be programs, particularly non-Microsoft programs, which are not affected by the high contrast mode there. So that is something to be aware of. Let's go ahead and turn it off again. I'll hit the contrast button and we're going to get back our white background. Whoo, nasty. Okay. Next button we have color. That's for those color filters Cory had referenced earlier on. If you are colorblind, then those can help adjust for that. And then we have dark and night modes. These are for different color modes that we can apply. And in our case, if I click the dark button, it brings up the dark mode, but that's only at the moment we're seeing it set to the taskbar, which is turned dark. If I open up the settings, then they should also be dark too. Let's take a quick look. Yep, and so the settings also now, they have this gray and black scheme, again, to reduce the glare. And I'll try out the night scheme as well. And now we have this very dark gray and black scheme. So
is the night, is that like removing some of the blue light that they talk about when using devices?
That's right. So that will turn on the night light as well, which makes the yellow more prominent than the blue light.
Okay.
Yeah, and I actually, personally, I have that on all the time because I find that over a long day of work, those long, hard days that Cory has been working, then I actually find it really helps to keep my eyes nice and relaxed, so I don't have a headache at the end of the day.
Okay. Are you able to right-click again into settings and be able to adjust some of the color contrast, foreground, background colors and things as well?
Indeed you can, and there's some really neat options. If we right-click on the contrast button and go to the settings, we can actually completely customize our high contrast setting, and so we can choose what color we want text to be. As we saw, mine was yellow, but normally it would be white, but I had customized that. We can choose what color we want links to be, we can choose what color we want the background to be, and so on and so forth. And those settings will be saved so that whenever we hit the contrast button in Morphic, it's going to go ahead and change to the color scheme that we have set up. So those are the default features of Morphic. I think they're pretty cool ways to access some of those accessibility features, but just a little bit easier. Cory.
Yes?
Do you want Morphic?
Yes, I would.
All right, good to hear it. We have one more thing to look at here. We have the little chameleon dude.
I wonder what his name is. Can we name him really quickly?
Kenny?
Yes.
Oh, that was easy. Okay.
Wait, oh, Kenny? I like Kenny.
Yeah.
I thought you said, can we? No, I like Kenny. Kenny works.
Kenny Chameleon, here he is. And Kenny Chameleon, if we click him, it's going to bring up options for things that we can change with Morphic itself. Now, some of these we are going to be looking at in our Tech Connect live show. Cory, Tech Connect Live, date?
August 31st.
Time?
11 a.m. Central.
Where do people see it?
YouTube.com/vision_tech-connect.
You're so
which
smart.
is where you are right now.
The things we will be looking at there is things such as how to copy setups between computers. So if you use more than one computer, obviously that's going to be handy, but also customizing the Morphic bar.
Yeah.
And that will be adding programs to the Morphic bar, which is really a pretty neat feature, especially if you want to set up a computer for those loved ones you have who might struggle accessing things through more regular routes.
Yeah, a really cool example would be that they talked about was setting up like a Zoom button that immediately connected an individual to a specific Zoom meeting, so that you could, kind of maybe have a talk meeting with grandma and grandpa or whatever it might be.
You could have a regular video call every weekend, and they just have to click the button and they'd be in the call straight away.
A lot of cool ideas.
Yeah, so that's a neat idea. But some of the other things that we have here, just to go over them very quickly, we can hide the Morphic bar.
Okay.
I don't want to do that right now because then it'll disappear and we won't be able to show it to you.
Not sure how to re-enable it.
Exactly. We can go ahead and go to demo videos.
Yes,
that's
nice. Where I was this morning.
Yeah, now you said that you found some without any audio.
Well, they're all like 1-minute clips of each of these features, and none of the videos had audio.
Well, that's weird because I found one that did have audio. So.
But I don't know if that was. I'm wondering now if mine was muted. If not, my computer wasn't muted, but I wonder if the YouTube clip was muted, and I just didn't notice.
Cory, I feel like you might need a Morphic bar on your computer to help you with some of these issues.
Can I create an unmute button right now?
And then we have a link to other settings, and so these are actually kind of similar to right-clicking on the elements in the Morphic bar, but we have some additional settings we can access, such as mouse settings, such as cursor settings, and some other accessibility options.
It's funny because I was going to ask that. I thought one of the glaring things it missed here was mouse pointer.
Yeah.
But I'm glad to see that it's inside a Kenny
Yeah.
The Chameleon here, so you still can't get to it.
We should trademark Kenny and we should just make our own Morphic.
Yeah, there you go. Call it Morphic.
Morphic. Why not? And then we also have a contact us as well, which is very nice. So
but not us.
No, not
Morphic.
us, because contact Morphic. Yes, let's specify that. So all in all, it's a pretty sweet little package. There are some nice tools that are available right there from the offset. There are ways to access other further settings, and those you would have to, you'd have to be a bit more confident in your computer use to do so. I do think as we've gone through this, Corey, we have found some areas where there could be some improvements, like for example, just a button that makes your mouse pointer larger and easier to see, or magnification controls for the magnifier. There's some things there that are lacking a little bit, but again, all in all, this does present a really nice, easy interface for those who struggle with their computer.
One of the things I really like about Morphic, Luke, is I love that it just uses built-in accessibility on all these operating systems, but it brings everything right up front for you. So if you're somebody who struggles with kind of getting into the settings and control panel and all that stuff, it's right there for you. But even if you're somebody who's more advanced user, like I consider you an advanced user.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Appreciate it.
It's easier for you. Well, you don't have to dive into the settings. It's literally right there for you to change some of those main things: contrast, magnification, all that good stuff.
Yeah, I wouldn't use it personally. Just because.
Well, you don't need magnification.
That's a good point. I don't need to use it.
But if you did need to use it, what are you not a fan of?
Keyboard shortcuts are still superior.
Sure.
Ultimately, because you still, even with the Morphic bar, you still have to move the mouse down there and manipulate the buttons. And it's still, if you are a power user, that's still going to be less efficient than just using the keyboard shortcuts. But there's only one thing on the Morphic bar that you can't do with a keyboard shortcut, which is changing the screen resolution. So that might be handy.
That is a good point. Everything, pretty much everything else except their own custom speak to text that we saw that obviously doesn't. But you're right. Most of the time, keyboard commands would be more efficient. But I suppose this probably really is geared for individuals who aren't using keyboard commands.
Exactly. This isn't made for me. This is made for people who either struggle to remember the keyboard commands or don't know the keyboard well enough to perform them effectively, Yeah. And so for those people, I think it's great. Now, I do have some nitpicks, I have to admit.
Okay.
Number one, the Morphic control bar itself is too small. And the problem is that if you increase and decrease what they call the text size, which is really screen resolution, the Morphic bar size will increase at that point.
Yeah.
So it will scale along with everything else. But just by default, it's just too small.
It seems to me that it would make more sense for it not to be on screen all time, but there is some kind of mouse, bringing your mouse down to the bottom right corner or something where then the bar pops up, because then it can be much larger. Obviously, it can't be on the screen at all times because then now it's going to start covering things.
Sure.
But from a LowVision standpoint, not to be able to customize the size of it and then having it small, I would agree that is a bit of an issue.
It does seem odd, yeah. So that would probably be my major issue with it. And other than that, I mean, I think it's really pretty good. It's a sensible collection of features for people with low vision. And the fact that they have created this custom text-to-speech feature for Windows computers, whereby you can do a speak selected, which normally isn't actually part of the accessibility features. So that is something that they have actually coded for themselves. And I do think that's really neat.
Yeah, and the Snip tool is pretty cool too, to be able to quickly kind of get a screenshot of stuff. But, I think, again, for free, it's awesome. It's one of those tools, why not add to your toolbox? If you're a Morphic user, please put it down in the comment. What is one of your more favorite features on Morphic? We'd love to know. Or is this something that you think you would download? Make sure you come and join us. We do a live show, as we mentioned, August 31st. We will be doing a more deep dive into Morphic and some of those more advanced features that we didn't cover today. You can find us right on our YouTube channel. We go live on every other Thursday at 11 a.m. Central. We do also have a podcast, so go ahead and in your podcast app of choice, do a search for Tech Connect and you'll find Vision Forward's Tech Connect. You can check out our podcast. We appreciate it. And last, we have an online resource of all kinds of really good assistive technology, including archives of all of our past shows and webinars as well, diving into Orcam, Windows 11 dictation, a lot of different features in there, and they are available for ACVREP credit on demand. So go check us out at techconnect.vision-forward.org.
And of course, you can get in touch with any questions. Feel free to shoot us an email, techconnect@vision-forward.org. Maybe you can use your Morphic tools to assist you with that as well. And of course, you can visit our website, vision-forward.org. Why not go there and take a look at the different services that we offer and the different assistive technology products that we sell. And with all of that being said, we will look forward to seeing you, hopefully, at our Tech Connect live show, and if not, then in our next video. Thanks a lot.